Casino Rama Grill Room. We'll get to our guests in a minute, because I got a little beef with the world of soccer. They say we can't show highlights from the World Cup. Oh, I beg to differ. I think we can. Starting here, it's North Korea versus Brazil. No score in the first half. But then, Macon from Brazil, he scores a goal, makes it 1-0. Then after that, Brazil, they're happy on the goal. Korea, they're very sad on the goal. Brazil 2, North Korea 1. I showed you the highlights. You can suck at FIFA. Speaking about soccer, I talked earlier with Gareth Wheeler, who's in South Africa covering the World Cup. We talked about vuvuzelas. We talked about the weather. We talked about Argentina. Here's a very cold Gareth Wheeler. Check it out.
With a wide selection of smartphones, visit Wireless Wave.
Hey, Gareth, first question. How cold are you?
Hey, Cauz, I'm not going to lie to you. It is really, really cold here. I got my gloves on. I got my scarf on. You see people walking around the stadium with winter jackets. They better bundle up tonight. And it's going to be cold all week. It's going down to -4 at nighttime. Daytime highs at around 7 degrees Celsius. I believe it's going to warm up to about 11 on Saturday. But this is completely different from when I arrived. I mean, during the daytime, it went up into the mid-20s. At night, it still got really cool into single digits, but this is very cold. The locals are complaining, but I do not think it's going to affect the teams that much. A lot of the players that you're seeing play in this tournament play in cold weather all winter long in various European leagues. And you got to remember, in places like Durban, it's very tropical. The weather's very different. Cape Town, they're having a lot of rain, but apparently it will snow there Friday. So if it's going to affect anything, it's going to be the surface and the slickness of the ball and the way that it runs.
All right, so the big controversy going on is those damn vuvuzelas. So many people back home are complaining about it. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, the vuvuzela talk's kind of funny to me because people embrace it here. They love it. You hear them all hours of the day. You can probably actually hear them blowing right now. And for me, it's something that the rest of the world should just live with. They should just get on with it because soccer in South Africa is relatively new. It's relatively recent. They don't have their own songs. They don't have their own celebrations. What they do is have the vuvuzela, and it's something to do with their culture. They enjoy doing it. Just seeing the look on people's faces. They blow these things walking down the street. It doesn't matter, and you don't want to tell people that they can't blow them inside the stadium and take away from the environment and take away from the vibe. They did a similar thing at the Cricket World Cup back in 2007 in the West Indies. They banned drums that the locals used to bring into the cricket matches, and then after they banned the drums, the environment really suffered, and people were asking, well, where are the drums? You would hate to see that happen here in South Africa.
So there's been some very strong words from Lionel Messi. He came out and said the only country that can beat Argentina is Argentina. Do you agree with Messi and his assessment?
Yeah, bold words coming from the little man, but if anyone can talk like that, it's Leo Messi. He was virtually unstoppable Saturday against Nigeria. And to tell you the truth, Argentina didn't play their best soccer. They were inconsistent, allowing the Nigerians back in the game. If they developed some consistency, along with getting their attack sorted out, Messi came close numerous times, and Tevez was fantastic, and Di Maria was fantastic in recess striker roles. I mean, this team is one that I think will be going at least to the semifinal. You got to remember, from groups A to group D, that all the weaker teams are in that section of the table, and 2 of those teams will make it to the semis, and I believe that Argentina is as good, if not the best of the bunch right now. So good on Messi for showing a lot of confidence in his team.
Great job, Wheels. Thanks so much. You take care, and for God's sakes, try to keep warm.
Thanks, guys. I'm going to try to stay warm and talk to you soon.
Wireless Wave, your Rogers experts at a mall near you.
Nice job, Wheeler. Nice gloves, by the way. Anyway, guys, first question. The vuvuzelas, is it annoying you? Is it taking away from your enjoyment of the World Cup? Or are we as North Americans making too big a deal of it? Buff,
First of all, my question to you is Wheels like moonlighting as a cat burglar or something? What's going on there?
I know he's got the hat on. Yes.
Like, anyway,
he's an international jewel thief. We all know it. Anyway, back to the vuvuzelas.
Yeah, the vuvuzela. You know what? I watched that England game the other day. I didn't even notice, honestly, because there's so much noise at a World Cup game to start with. I didn't even notice it. And as far as like, you know, if it's irritating people, who cares? You know what I mean? Get a life, right?
Yeah, it's a total non-issue for me. I mean, yeah, it does add to the game, and it's just one of those things. It's part of the soccer culture. It's part of the energy of the game. Plus, I haven't really been watching that many, you know, of the game. So your stick figure, perfect.
Thank you. Okay. Well, if it's a non-issue, let's move on to some issues. A 0-0 draw or 0-0 draw between Ivory Coast and Portugal.
Exciting.
And again, there was a lot of talk about the dive. Ronaldo had a couple dives twice where not a player even touched him, and he was down on the ground. Is this one of the things that's going to hurt North Americans' love for soccer and for you guys as well when you watch it, Norm?
Well, speaking personally, I love the Portugal-Ivory Coast Cote d'Ivoire game because it's a Chelsea inter-squad game. You got the greatest, some of the greatest players in the world. You got some of the greatest players in the world.
The issue of diving. Go.
The diving,
yes.
I don't mind. It's part of the game. It's never going away. So just accept
Isn't
it.
that the problem that it's part of the game? I mean,
No, it's not a problem. No,
It is a problem,
Look,
Norm.
there's diving. There's diving a little bit in hockey. They try to call it. Okay,
comparing
so
the
you
two?
just know. Wait, can I finish? There is a certain amount of diving that'll always be there, and if you're gonna, it's kind of like in hockey. If you call every single play, you're gonna ruin the flow of the game.
It's not even close to hockey, Norm.
Yes,
I don't know how you can say that.
Buff, come in there and defend
I
me.
don't know how he can say that. The problem is basically in soccer, diving it's not only tolerated, it's almost approved.
Yes.
It's something that you should do to get your team an advantage. And to me, it's like I appreciate the World Cup. I have been watching the World Cup, but the diving is just, to me, it's infuriating. And it's not, you cannot compare it to hockey.
You can.
Last word to Will. Norm, you're quiet right now. Last word.
Again, like I said, I'm not the biggest soccer fan in the world, but it reminds me a lot of flopping in basketball.
Yes.
To Norm's point, you can't do it every time, but or they can't call it every time. But you know what? It is a problem toward the fluidity of the game, and if it creates an unfair advantage that's not created by real athletic prowess, it should be outlawed.
Just like Will said it best. Norm is still being quiet. We got to take a break. And moving from soccer to the NBA Finals, where it looks like Kobe Bryant is conceding the NBA championship. Have a listen.
No, I'm not very confident at all.
Well, there you have it. Kobe thinks the Lakers are doomed. All right, maybe I took that quote a little bit out of context, but can Kobe and the Lakers come back? Find out next in...
Say what?